WCCY is proud to present the state Class D semifinals as the Linden Hubbell Lakes take on the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers.
Fans, we're less than a half hour away from the kickoff of this Class D state semifinal game with the Linden Hubbell Lakes meeting Maple City.
State semifinal action. Tim Halkala along with Bill Labba Sr. We're here in Newberry at the Newberry Athletic Field, where the Linden Hubbell Lakes are going to take on the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers. So, Bill, we've got the Lakes and the Lakers here this afternoon. Linden Hubbell 8-1 on the regular season. They only lost to the Hancock Bulldogs. And in the postseason play, the pre-regional, they beat Rudyard 22-16. In regional action last weekend, it was a defeat of Gaylord St. Mary's 24-6. Maple City Glen Lake made their way here. Temperature 18 degrees, Bill. The weather conditions on the way down, we drove through everything conceivable, most of it bad, but right now we've got 18 degrees, a slight wind. We've got blue skies with intermittent sun, but it's going to be like a weather report for the road. Snow-covered and slippery.
Well, I'll tell you, Tim, the field is, they've plowed off the field. There's about 6-foot snowbanks surrounding the field. They put down the yard markers, but it's impossible to see any of the hash marks. So it's going to be a little bit difficult judging exactly where the ball is, but they do have somebody running the clock, and it will say yards to go, so we should be able to keep pretty good tabs on it. But the field is not solid. It's not froze. It does have snow on it, but I think the field is, for the two running teams we have, I think the field's in good shape.
Well, considering what they started with here at 7 o'clock this morning in Newberry, they were chosen as an alternate site, and they just did a bang-up job here preparing this field. They scraped it right down to the grass, except for between the hash marks in the center of the field. And I've been watching both teams warm up. They've had some trouble cutting. It is slippery in spots, of course, but the field conditions will be the same for both teams. So neither team a real big aerial attack. Of course, the Lakes would like to air it out more to establish their running game, and that's not going to prevent them from passing, though.
Well, that's true, and we were comparing with the other radio station from Traverse City. We were comparing notes on the players, and it seems that Lake Linden and Maple City Glen Lake have both passed for 701 yards this season, and both completed the same number of attempts. It's remarkable, the comparison.
A lot of similarities here between the Lakers and the Lakes, both with two fine running backs on each team. Of course, for the Linden Hubbell Lakes, that's Rowe and Gillis. But we're looking for a real exciting one here this afternoon from Newberry, where it's Class D state semifinal action. The winner here is going to take a little trip downstate, well, it'll be downstate for the Lakes, to the Silver Dome, where about the only thing we could guarantee there would be the weather.
Well, I don't know, but you couldn't really tell about the trip, because the trip was, as we said, it was rather exciting coming down here. We saw sun, we saw snow, we saw ice, we saw bare roads. It was an interesting journey, but we are here at Newberry, and
the pregame show brought to you by, okay, they just announced the score of the Ontonagon-Muskegon game at 14-14, and that drew a hushed response from the crowd as fans up here. We get a lot of Lake Linden fans, and of course a lot up from Maple City Glen Lake, just down by Traverse City, and then the local people in Newberry knew all about this action going on here as they're lining up on the field, getting ready for our national anthem. We're just 4.5 minutes away from kickoff here in semifinal action from Newberry. We've got a packed press box here, Bill. Little adverse conditions for us. We were the first ones here, and we were up here shoveling snow and pushing snow literally off the benches and off the chairs. The windows were all frozen up. They just didn't have a chance to prepare us, so they brought in portable heaters. We have squeegees like you would use to clean your windows to wipe off the windows here. We may have to open them up later on as they are getting ready to introduce the Maple City Glen Lake, and their contingency is right in front of us. So you're going to be able to tell by their response. Lake Linden crowd just to the right of us, the Maple City fans right in front.
Okay, and Tim, and as they're giving out the starting lineups on the field, I'll do it here on the air. The Maple City Glen Lake Lakers, starting on the offensive line. Matt Erickson, Mose Erickson, Skip Herringer, Dan Mikowski, Scott Ash, Dave Penny, and Trevor Warnes. The national anthem.
Well, you may have heard the crowd there. Hopefully you heard the national anthem. It went over the public address system on tape, which they frantically found just prior to the game. We're 1 minute and 53 away from kickoff here. It's over a minute before kickoff on a snow-covered and slippery field. And here's Bill Abbott Sr. with the starting lineup for the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes.
Okay, before I give the Lakes, we'll give the starting backfield for the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers. At quarterback is Bob O'Brien. At halfback is Joel Diot, and Brian Atkinson and Perry Garvin are the tailbacks. For the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes, the starting offense. Mark Bammert at center. Left tackle, Jeff Klein. Left guard, Rich Gurno. The right guard, Scott Gregory. The right tackle, Rich Fezzi. Brian Lampo will start at tight end, and the split end will be Dan Schmidt. The fullback is Craig Rowe, and Jimbo Kiernan at flanker. The starting tailback this afternoon, number 44, Mark Gillis, and the starting quarterback, Eric Cookinen.
Okay, Bill, it's the battle of the running backs. The big backs from Maple City Glen Lake. We just had them here. There they are. Those ones I see are Brian Atkinson and Perry Garvin. Both ran close to 1,000 yards apiece in the regular season here. And, of course, for the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes, it's Rowe and Gillis. They're still introducing the teams. The clock is at 0 now. Introduction's taking a little bit longer. We'll have to keep these windows cleaned off here as we've got a lot of activity up here in the press box for a game of this magnitude.
I'll tell you, Tim, it's worth mentioning once again that the throng of followers from Lake Linden is incredible. The stands are packed. There is, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Michigan Trailways buses parked on the other side of the field. There's also a school bus from Glen Lake. I see community schools. But listen to this.
This is Glen Lake right in front of us. So that's the Glen Lake contingency, and you can bet Lake Linden is just as boisterous, but they're a ways away from us. But in here in big numbers, in any event, 18 degrees was the report we got from WMBY, station down here. And wind has got the flag just kind of blowing a little bit. Should not be a factor at all. The field itself is going to be the factor today, with it being, again, the center of the field hash mark is covered with hard-packed snow, and it's going to be slippery out there. Gillis teeing up the ball. He'll be kicking off for the Lakes, so you're going to have to be listening carefully when it's the Lakes versus the Lakers. All right, the sun's shining. We're just seconds away here as Gillis lines up his men. He does the kicking for the Hubbell Lakes. His hand is up. The whistle blows. All right, his foot is into it, and we're underway here as he scoops one on round again. It's taken by Perry Garvin, number 40. He's taking it up the middle. It takes 3 or 4 tacklers just to bring him down, and that ball's going to be on about the 42, 43-yard line of Maple City Glen Lake, and that's where they're going to start this game. Just underway here in the first quarter in Class D semifinal action.
The winner of this game goes to the Pontiac Silver Dome on the 25th of November, just a week from today. And I'll tell you, there's excitement in the air.
Boy, I've never seen more snowmobile suits anywhere in my life unless you went to those races somewhere in Wisconsin. Here they go. Pro set formation, two receivers split out wide left for Maple City Glen Lake. The handoff goes right up the middle over left tackle to Brian Atkinson, the ball carrier. Picked up some tough yardage there.
Mark Gillis and Ryan Lacoste in on the stop. I'd say give him a gain of about 3 yards.
Okay, they're going to call it a long 3, maybe a short 4. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. Ball on the 46-yard line. I'm looking through my window here. I'll wipe it off. It's like looking through a dirty pair of glasses. Pro set formation. Receivers split wide on either side for Glen Lake. We're going to open the windows up here. Handoff goes over right tackle to Atkinson again, but he's tackled immediately at the line of scrimmage. That Lake's defense is fired up, so that's going to call it no gain, bring up a 3rd and 6 as they stopped him dead in his tracks. Is Atkinson, the ball carrier, trying to take it over to the right of center, was stopped immediately by that Lake Linden D. 3rd and 6, just underway. Ball on the 46-yard line of Glen Lake. The yard markers are clear. There are no hash marks visible on the field, just smatterings of green and the rest of it white. Pro set formation, receivers split wide again on either side. Handoff goes to number 40 over right tackle and picks up some nice yardage. Number 40, Perry Garvin, the ball carrier. It's going to be short. It's going to bring up 4th down, 4th and 4 for Glen Lake. And they're exchanging players. It's going to put them in a punt situation. It's early on here, so back deep to receive is Craig Rowe for the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes. 4th and 4 on their own 46. Snow covered and slippery. Good snap from center. Heavy rush. Gillis almost got a piece of that. The ball bounces. Rowe elects to take it on the hop. Takes it left-hand side. He's still on his feet. He picked up about 5 or 6 yards from where he fielded the ball.
A return, he caught the ball at the 29. He brought it out to about the 35-yard line, and that's where the Lakes are going to start. It's 1st and 10. There's 9:39 remaining here in the first quarter. No score in this ball game.
So the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes stop the Lakers on their first possession, and they turn it over on a punt. The Lakes will start from their own 35. In the backfield for the Lakes, Eric Cookinen, number 9 at quarterback, Rowe and Gillis in a pro set formation behind Cookinen. Here comes Jimbo Karanen, left to right in motion. Handoff goes to Rowe on the left side of tackle. Picks up very little yardage on that one, as both teams just feeling each other now on the ground here. Although they could pass the ball, but footing is going to be a problem. So a conservative start here for the Hubbell Lakes. Give them a gain of about 1, bringing up a 2nd and 9. Ball on the 37. Boy, we're going to have a dandy here. We've got a couple of running backs on either team that can just tear this field up, snow or no snow. Here's a triple I formation, power setup. Goes to the last man through, which is Gillis. Tripped over his own man, hung on to the ball. Mark had some nice running room there, Bill, on a triple I power formation, but going forward so fast, he ran over his own man and got tripped up.
Okay, but he moved the ball over the 40-yard line. We're going to call it a pickup of about 5 on the play from Mark Gillis, his first play from scrimmage. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 4 at the 42-yard line.
Right you are. Okay, the Lakes have the ball, 3rd and 4. Big 3rd down play early on, 8:21 remaining in this first quarter. Here at Newberry in semi-final action. Pro set, Gillis takes a head fake the other way. He's off left tackle around the end, still on his feet. It'll be a 1st down for Mark Gillis on a beautiful power sweep by the Lakes.
Gillis, fine 8-yard run, takes it out. Well, they're going to mark it just shy of the 50-yard line, but an 8-yard run for Mark Gillis. That's 2 carries, 13 yards, and the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes pick up the first down of this ball game.
That's it. So their offense is rolling here. It was a real nice play. Just underway here in the first quarter, brought to you by Bruno's Motors in Hancock. Scoreless game here, as it's going to be kept on the ground. You can only imagine. And here they go in a pro set. They split Karanen and Schmidt wide to the right. The handoff goes on the inside, but caught right at the line of scrimmage is Craig Rowe. So the Lakes tried a little counter play there, moving everybody to the right and handing off to Craig Rowe on the left-hand side, but the Lakers sniffed it out and stopped him for a 1-yard loss.
I think it's interesting. We should note the last play of Gillis's pickup of 8 yards. It looked like Craig Rowe, they faked the handoff to Rowe, and Rowe pretended he fell, and I think that worked. You know, that took the play away from Mark Gillis, and he was able to sprint 8 yards. Pro set formation. He splits Karen and wide on the left-hand side. Pitch all goes to Gillis on the end sweep on the right-hand side, puts his head down and powers over a couple of players of Glen Lake as the pitch came nicely from quarterback Eric Cookinen. Picked up some of that needed yardage. It's going to be short of the first down, of course. It's going to be a third, and let's call it 3, as Gillis picked up 8 yards on that play as it was 2nd and 11. So 3rd and 3, another big third down play for the Lakes here, Bill.
I'll tell you, Rich says he's putting in a nice block for Mark Gillis that time, giving him a little opening where he's able to dive forward, pick up that valuable yardage. 3rd and 3, ball on the 44 of Glen Lake. So the Hubbell Lakes into the Maple Lake territory, and the ball carrier, Karen, boy, he's hanging on to his man, Jimbo Karen, what a beautiful run. He grabbed the back of his own man, forcing the blocking his way.
Jimbo had trouble with his footing that time, but was still able to, we're going to have to see exactly, it's going to be a gain of 7 yards for 8 yards for Jim Kiernan.
Well, it's a 1st and 10 in any situation. The ball is on the 35 of Glen Lake as the Lakes continue to move the ball here. So the Lakes against the Lakers, we're scoreless here. 6:30 remaining in this first quarter. Here comes the pitch. Right-hand side to Rowe. He's got a little room, stays on his feet. Boy, this running game and the blocking of the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes has tempers flare a little bit there because everybody giving it 110%.
Well, Rich Fesdy put a good block out for Craig Rowe that time, and I'll tell you, he was helped by the opposition because Rowe seemed to be stopped. But on the tackle, he was flipped forward for about 2 yards. They're going to give him a 3-yard gain on the play.
Scott Gregory knocked down another man, so these Hubbell Lakes taking no prisoners here early on. 2nd and 7, ball on the 32. Runs a pro set. He's got Smith, but the ball goes to Gillis, left-hand side, loses his footing just a little bit there on the cut, so it's going to be trickier on the middle of the field as Mark Gillis tried to cut it back up the field and slipped and was caught there, so picked up very few yards on that one.
Well, we're going to give him 3 yards on that play. 4 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3 at the 28-yard line of Glen Lake with 5:28 remaining here in the first quarter. No score.
So here they go, 3rd and 3 again. So it's been nothing but one big third down play after another as they continue to move the ball. On the 28-yard line of Maple City, Glen Lake, throw set formation, handoff goes to Jimbo Karen and left-hand side, still on his feet. He may have picked it up. He's away from us. It's going to be awful close. There's the indication, Bill, from the official. So they can handle the game from down here. They don't need the hash marks. The field is, again, snow-covered and slippery. You can see no hash marks at all, but the out-of-bounds is clearly marked by where they are. They took a couple of swipes with four-wheelers with plows on them. Did a heck of a job cleaning up this field, considering it was covered with just a ton of snow.
Well, on a drop play that time, Jimbo Kiernan picking up 4 yards. The 3-back offense has been working for the Lakes, and they pick up their first down of this drive.
The ball's on a 23-yard line of Maple City, Glen Lake. This time Cookman hands off. The middle ball's loose. It's fumbled. It's going to be recovered by Maple City, Glen Lake. That ball's down around the 15-yard line. Lake Linden turns it over.
Craig Rowe caught right at the line of scrimmage, and the ball squirted loose. And it was recovered by Maple City, Glen Lake. I didn't pick up a number, but I don't think anybody cares.
Maple City, Glen Lake has the ball. They will start from their own 18 as the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes had a nice drive going. That would have been plenty of yardage for the first down, but the ball was coughed up right after the line of scrimmage. So here come the Glen Lake Lakers starting from their own 18. 4:23 remaining in this first quarter. We're scoreless. Handoff goes right up the middle of number 40. He's got some running room. Boy, he's a powerful runner. That's Terry Garvin. So it's Garvin and Brian Atkinson are the big runners for Maple City, Glen Lake, and he shows it there as he pounded over the right-hand side of that Lake Linden line. Picked up about 8 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 2. spot the ball on a 26-yard line of Maple City. Bob O'Brien, the quarterback, brings his team out, splits the receiver wide on the left-hand side. Throw set formation, long count. Pitch goes the other way to Brian Atkinson around the right-hand side. He got dumped, but he picked up some nice yardage. He was hit early on by Gillis, who's limping.
Well, he was tripped up by Rich Gurno, and he got finished off by Mark Gillis. So, but that's still going to be a first down for Glen Lake. There's no score in this ball game. 3:39 remaining here in the first quarter.
Okay, Mark Gillis walking off. He got banged up around the thigh. One of the star linebackers for the Lakes. Again, two receivers split, one on either side. Pro set formation with Garvin and Atkinson in the backfield for quarterback Bob O'Brien. He's rolling to the right, quarterback option, hands off to Brian Atkinson. He's still on his feet, and he's finally brought down. Oh my goodness, could have been a touchdown-saving tackle there by Eric Cookinen. As Brian Atkinson, their 1,000-yard rusher, took her on the quarterback pitch out around the right-hand side, popped a couple tackles, and was off to the races before halfback Cookinen brought him down for the Lakes.
Well, Atkinson picking up 12 yards on that play, bringing the ball out to the Glen Lake 44 with 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. No score.
Back and forth on the ground. The sun is shining brightly now, although temperature is still around the 18 to 20 degree mark. Splits one receiver wide right. This time the close pitch goes off to Atkinson again, and he powers over the right side of that line, picking up some real nice yardage. So he's been a real thorn in the side so far this afternoon for that Lake defense.
Jeff Klein tripping up Atkinson, but not before he picked up 8 yards on the play, moving the ball into Lake territory at about the 45-yard line, 46.
Well, we'll split the difference, call it the 47. I'm going off the scoreboard. The windows have cleared up here. We can see better, but they're in the Lake Linden territory. Hit right at the line of scrimmage is Perry Garvin. Little or no gain on that one. It's going to bring up a third down and 2 yards for Maple City Glen Lake. They moved this far in beautiful running by Brian Atkinson on a couple of sweeps. Neither team has elected to put the ball in the air yet. So here they go, just 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. We're scoreless. Ball on the 47-yard line of the Hubbell Lakes. 3rd and 2. Two receivers split on either side. Handoff goes on a stutter delay. It's a quarterback keeper. He's got enough for the first down. As the fake went to Perry Garvin over the left-hand side, but the quarterback, Bob O'Brien, elected to keep it on a real nice play. He got hit and hit hard, but he picked up the first down.
Well, Rich Fezzi got him around the ankles, and then Dan Schmidt came in and really popped him one as he was going down. But nevertheless, it's going to be a first down at the 44-yard line of the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes with a minute and 36 remaining here in the first quarter. No score in this ball game.
So O'Brien, the quarterback, takes one for the team there, gets them the first down on the 44-yard line. So they're showing us the same offense again. There's his first pass of the game. Oh, I'll tell you, here it comes. It's flags all over the place. It's all over the back of the intended receiver. Is Brian Lampa for the Lakesville.
Well,
the pistol was almost in the way, though, but what are you going to do?
But that's what the call's going to be. It's going to end up to be, we're going to have to see where they spot the ball.
It's going to be a pass interference call going against the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes. The first pass of the game resulting in a penalty. It was almost like a post pattern off the official. The intended receiver for the Lakers ran. And boy, I'll tell you, it was awful close, but you can't get anywhere near that receiver, let alone touch him before that ball gets there. So that's going to move the ball all the way down to the 29-yard line of Lake Linden Hubbell. It'll be a first down. 1:22 remaining in this first quarter. So the first pass.
Up Garvin. They're going to mark it, okay, a gain of about 1 yard. Mark Gillis tripping them up. That's going to put the ball at the 28-yard line with 1 minute remaining here in the first quarter. No score in this ball game.
2nd and 9, ball on the 28. Lake defense is going to have to toughen up here, but Maple City showed us that they are willing to put the ball in the air. Two receivers split again. Handoff goes to the left-hand side to Perry Garvin, and he stopped immediately at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Rich Gurno in there, and he got a little bit of help from Ryan Lacoste, and they're going to call it a loss of one, bringing the ball back to the 29-yard line, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 10 now with 26 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Well, it's a big play here, deep into Lake Linden Hubbell territory. Have marched the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers. 3rd and 10. Ball on the 29. He's got a receiver split wide on either side. O'Brien, the quarterback, barking out the signals. 2 men in the backfield. He's going straight back in the pocket. No, it's a draw. And he pitches out. He pitched out on a draw, brought down. A beautiful play. It would look like a forward. It did to me too, Bill. What happened there is the quarterback went straight back in the pocket, but he did hand the ball off to a halfback on a draw play, and then he pitched out
And
to
then
Perry Garvin.
it did look like a forward lateral. Craig Rowe was able to make the tackle, though, after a gain of about 6 yards.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter here from Newberry, and with our score, 0-0, we'll be okay, just underway here. They did not make it. They're going to turn it over on downs on a beautiful tackle by the Lakers. So the Lakers go for it on 4th and about 5 and are stopped short by the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes, so they will take over on their own 23. On that last play there, Bill, prior to the expiration of the first quarter, that lateral was forward, but it was behind the line of scrimmage, which is perfectly legal. So that explained it. So that was a close one. That was a real nice play. Terry Garvin ultimately ended up with the ball, but they did not make it on down, so they turn it over, and the Lakes will start from their own 22-yard line, 1st and 10, just underway in the second quarter.
And Eric Cookinen decided to keep the ball, and he got through the line of scrimmage. Fine effort by Eric Cookinen. We're going to call it pick up of 5 yards on the play. Cookinen taking the ball out to the 28-yard line, so it'll bring up a 2nd down at 5 with 11 and a half minutes remaining in this second quarter.
Way to be Johnny on the spot there, Bill. I was doing something else, and the play went underway, and able to fill in anybody's shoes. Bill Labba Sr., Tim Hawkwell. From Newberry, we have Class D semifinal action. The pitch goes to Gillis, but they sniffed that one out. He's caught right at the line of scrimmage. Cookinen pitched the ball on the left-hand side. It was a nice play until it was just defense so well by Glen Lake. They must have seen that one in the book, and then hit right away was Mark Gillis. So no gain on a play. It's 3rd and 5, ball on the 27 of Lake Linden.
Well, Gillis now with 5 rushes for 25 yards in this ball game.
Just underway in the second quarter. Brought to you by Hancock Bottling, your bottler of Dr. Pepper. Here come the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes. 2 tight ends in there. Cookinen's going to pass. He's airing it out, streaking down the field, and off the fingertips of Dan Schmidt, the split end. That was a beautiful play, Bill.
The ball was out there. It was perfect distance, just a little bit out of the reach of Dan Schmidt, and he gave it all he got trying to go for that ball. But it fell incomplete nevertheless. So that'll bring up a 4th down, 5 to go. There's 10:30 remaining here in this second quarter. No score in this ball game.
Well, the Lakes and the Lakers both showing us they're not afraid to take chances as Cookinen airs it out to his tight end, went right off his fingertips. As Gillis is back to do the punting, Glen Lake finally sends the man back as they didn't show it. Gillis shanks one off to the right-hand side. It's going to stay, takes a nice Lake Linden roll. It's going down to about the 40, over the 40-yard line, closer to the 39, 38. So Mark Gillis got a nice roll on that punt as they elected not to try and receive it. So Glen Lake will be starting from their own 39.
That'd be a 35-yard punt, no return for Mark Gillis. The ball didn't go that far in the air, but as you said, it took a Lake Linden roll, and so that's going to start. The Lakers will start out at the 39-yard line with 10:19 remaining in this second quarter, no score.
Okay, sun shining brightly, about 18 to 20 degrees here. Field conditions are snow-covered and slippery. Here come the Lakers, defense by the Lakes. Handoff goes to number 40, right-hand left-hand side. He's pursued. He's going to try and cut the corner. That's Perry Garvin. He's finally forced out of bounds. We'll see where they spot the ball, as he did a lot of lateral running. He did make the corner finally, so you couldn't tell. So he was trying to cut up the field, and you just can't tell where the markers are. But he ran far enough, Bill, to pick up a first down. Boy, that was deceiving.
They're going to give Garvin a gain of 11 yards on that play, moving the ball now to right at midfield. The ball's just over the midfield stripe into Lake Linden territory, but they're calling it the 50-yard line.
So it is a first down for Maple City Glen Lake, as not only running laterally, but obviously forward was Perry Garvin picking up the first down. So right at the midfield stripe are the Glen Lake Lakers. He has a receiver split wide on either side. O'Brien, the quarterback. He wants to take a timeout here, and along with that, we'll take one too. So quarterback option off to Garvin, and he's knocked out of bounds, but he does stay on his feet. Perry Garvin, just a real nice runner. They must be keying on Brian Atkinson, the defense for the Lakes, because the nod has been going to Perry Garvin more often than not for the Lakers.
Dan Schmidt was able to trip him up as he made the corner, and then Jimbo Karen and knocked him out of bounds, but not before of a gain of, let's call it 7 yards. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 3 at the 42-yard line of the Lake.
All on the 42, as you said, Bill, so they are into Lake Linden territory now. Split wide on the left is the wideout for the Lakers. O'Brien, the quarterback, a little bit of movement, but no flags, as the handoff goes on the left-hand side and brought down immediately after just a short gain is number 40 again, Perry Garvin.
And it was Rich Gurno and Brian Lamp on the stop, but they were able to stop him just probably about 6 inches short of that first down marker, so it's going to bring up a...
Well, they're calling for an official timeout right now, Bill, because, boy, it's real close there. Now there's some discussion. It is up to the discretion of the head linesman to determine whether or not you bring the sticks out. I know they played a snow game. We were talking with some other people where the coaches were squawking for measurements all the time, and the officials would just say, no, we will measure when we feel it's necessary, but we do have a discussion going on the field right now. Now they're shy. They're going to keep the sticks right where they are. They're going to call it third down and very short for the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers. We're scoreless here. Clock running with 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining before half. Both teams have marched it up and down the field. Both teams have been willing to put it in the air several times, so anything could happen here. It's scoreless. Boy, that tight handoff inside and caught behind the line of scrimmage is Brian Atkinson.
Beautifully wrapped up by Craig Rowe, and we're going to have to see who comes off the bottom of the pile. Well, he's not getting up right now. I don't have a number on him.
I see 1-4. That's all I can say. Let's look to see if 44 is up anywhere, standing around for the Lakes. We can't tell. He's flat on his back. That was the player on the bottom of the pile. We can't tell who it is right now.
Okay, so this second quarter is being brought to you by Dr. Pepper and Hancock Bottling Company, and well, Rich Gurno got in there very quickly.
Okay, excuse me, they turned it over.
Was it a turnover?
It was a fourth down situation, Bill.
Okay.
It was 3rd and inches.
Okay.
And then on that play, that's the play that Mark Gillis got injured on, but they did drive them back about 1.5 yards on that play. Gillis is back in, by the way. That brought up a 4th and 2 situation, and the Lakes held. The Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes, that's twice now in this first half that they have stopped the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers on down.
Well, let's credit that to Rich Gurno. Rich Gurno in the Lakes backfield, Lakers backfield, very quickly able to make that stop. The Lakes have the ball.
Jimbo Karen in motion left to right. The fake pitch. Handoff goes to Gillis over right tackle. Check that left tackle as Cookenden made a big arm fake off to Craig Rowe and handed off to Gillis over left tackle, picking up some real nice yardage. It'll bring up a 2nd down. Let's see how far they move that. 2nd down and 5, perhaps. 2nd down and 4. Ball on on the 46-yard line of the Lakes. Again, the sun shining, but making no difference except to make it look a little more pleasant out here. It's cold, about 18 to 20 degrees, and the clock or the field conditions are snow-covered and slippery, especially around the middle of the field. Handoff goes to the third man through on the power eye. It's Gillis. They can't bring him down, but the ball's loose. The ball is loose. Big pile up. The Lakers jumping up and down as Gillis was the third man through, but they retained possession. Oh boy. Oh boy, they were calling him down, so the ball did pop loose. A new wrinkle we're seeing in that Lake Linden offense is a triple I formation. The ball's this time gone to the third man through, which is Mark Gillis, and boy, he just a power run on that one.
Mark Gillis, that time knocking off 6 yards, enough for the first down. I don't know for sure what happened underneath that pile, what they were crying fumble about, but they have the ball in Lakes territory now at the 48. There's 6.5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. No score in this ball game.
Cooking in the quarterback. Hands off to Gillis, this time over the right-hand side. And boy, they are just having to gang tackle him as Gillis pounds out another 7 or 8 yards.
You know, Tim, I seem to wonder that Mark Gillis, once in a while, he is down on the field with an injury, and it must be he just wants to leave the field for one play, because every time he does that, he comes back and he just turns it on.
He's just so intense when he comes back. No, he just might have gotten the wind knocked out of him because he did get up and motor off under his own power, and he has to come out for that one play.
So they're going to call it a gain of 8 for Mark Gillis. The ball's at the 40-yard line now.
We're scoreless here as Kokkinen on the quarterback option takes it around the right-hand side, shakes off a couple of tacklers as they try to arm tackle him, and ultimately they have to gang tackle him, and they finally force him out of bounds as Eric Kokkinen doing a dandy bit of running here on the quarterback keeper, and the tackling by grabbing at his arms just wasn't going to work for Glen Lake as quarterback Eric Kokkinen moves the chains for the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes.
I believe they're going to mark the ball at the 30-yard line. That's going to be a 10-yard gain for Eric Kokkinen. 5:52 remaining here in the second quarter. No score. Lake Linden has the ball on the 31-yard line of the Lakers.
Okay, Dan Schmidt split out to the right. Handoff goes to Gillis over the left-hand side as he again powers forward for about 3 or 4, possibly even 5 yards before he was stretched out on the ground.
Well, that time Atkinson, his counterpart, got in there and he got underneath Gillis. Gillis flipped over him. Still able, though, in a run that looked like a short gain like that, Mark Gillis still a 5-yard pickup on the play.
Just amazing. And it's not uncommon. We saw it last week where it's power runner against power runner. These players go both ways. And it seems like the only ones who know how to tackle these great runners are the other runners themselves. They get right underneath and upend them. But Gillis picks up 5. So the ball on the 26-yard line of Glen Lake, 2nd and 5, 5:05 remaining in this first half. As Gillis, again the ball carrier up over center, and he's got the first down and then some. As just a man possessed, Mark Gillis is hammering out the yardage as the Lake fans start to come alive. The Lakers and the Lakes here in semifinal action from Newberry, Michigan. Tim Hulkle along with Bill Abbott Sr. as the ball is pushed all the way down to the 19-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes.
Gain of 6 that time for Mark Gillis, and he's doing it all on his own on this drive, Tim.
One-man wrecking crew as Kokkinen takes 2 receivers, Schmidt and Jimbo Keranen off to the left. Hands off to Gillis again. So he's taking it either the right-hand side or the left-hand side. On the last 3 successive plays, it's been Mark Gillis. I don't think that time he picked up quite as much. Although, I'll tell you what, they end up keying on Gillis, and he's going to go right back to handing it off to Craig Rowe or Jimbo Keranen or passing to Smith, and Kokkinen even kept the ball himself one time.
Well, but that time, as it seemed again, once again, Mark Gillis tied up at the line of scrimmage, but just his brute force, he pushed it forward for 3 yards, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 7 at the ball on the 16-yard line.
Quarterback option goes to Craig Rowe, right-hand side, plenty of room, puts his head down. It's close. Let's take a look. I want to see an official signal here. They're all waving their hands as Craig Rowe took it around the right-hand side on the quarterback pitch from Kokkinen. As Rowe just burst up the field, he's going to be short of the goal line. fans just ringing around the sideline. It's going to be first and goal from the 3-yard line as Rowe almost brings it in, but the Lakes will have it first and 3. First and goal from the 3 with 4:04 remaining before half.
13-yard pickup by Craig Rowe that time. What a fine run. A pitch out from Eric Cook, and then Rowe sweeping around the right-hand side, almost getting it in.
Triple I formation again. Goes to Gillis. He's powering forward, but let's see, is he in? Touchdown, Lake Linden. Well, they took her the length of the field. We've got a Laker player down. They went right over the top of him, number 80. Someone took a lick in there. That's Kim Robbins, I believe. Yeah, he's rolling around. They're going to have to check him out. The Lakes go out in front by 6. They draw first blood as the big sweeping run by Craig Rowe set up that touchdown, but it was Mark Gillis who ran the ball all the way down the field on several occasions, Bill.
Okay, and with that, our second quarter is being brought to you.
The Lakes are on the board, 6-0. What a drive. Okay, here comes the injured player coming off underneath his old power. Now, the Lakes have yet to try a point after touchdown in the kicking fashion in the last 2 seasons, I think you said, Bill, and they aren't going to try it this time either. They're going to go for the 2. There goes Rowe in motion, so Kokkinen has nobody in the backfield. He fakes it. He's looking to pass, and he hits Dan Schmidt, and he's in. That's good for 2. Boy, that was a nice play by the Lakes as they sent everybody to the right, but Dan Schmidt, the tight end, rolled off to the left, and Kokkinen found him on a nice pass, so that pops in the 2. So, with the score, the Linden Hubbell Lakes 8, Maple City Glen Lake Lakers nothing. We'll be right back after this.
The middle, a fine return on the play. 3:52 remaining here in this first half. The ball now is on the 42-yard line of the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers. 8-0 Lakes.
Okay, back to pass. And almost intercepted. My goodness, thrown right in a bad spot for poor Dan Smith. Caught him off guard as Bob O'Brien, the quarterback for the Lakers, wanted to go for a quick release over the middle, and he did, and he popped it right into the hands, admittedly low, of Dan Smith for Lake Linden Hubbell, and Dan just couldn't quite hold on, although he made a valiant effort, so it goes incomplete. 2nd and 10, ball on the 42 of Glen Lake. 3:37 remaining before half. 8-0. The Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes out in front. 2 receivers, one on either side, split as they hand off up the middle. Still on his feet, impossible to bring down, is Brian Atkinson. Boy, that was a run. He's going to have enough for a first down.
Dan Schmidt and Jimbo Kiernan in to make the stop, but not before a pickup of, well, they're going to be really close to the first down.
Oh, I thought he might have had it. Sorry, Bill. Just a beautiful spinning move by Brian Atkinson of Maple City Glen Lake allowed him to break free. It's going to be 3rd and just inches. Lakes had him where they wanted, but allowed Atkinson to break loose on that one. They're calling it 3rd and 1. The ball is on the 48-yard line. Now they may call for a measurement here as we've got some Glen Lake fans imploring them to come on, let's take a look at this one, because there are no hash marks visible on this field. We've got a timeout by Lake Linden. Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes have taken no penalty. We've got an offside on that. Oh, I'm sorry, Bill.
That was encroachment on the defense. That's going to cost them 5 yards and another first down for Glen Lake by penalty.
Well, that gives them the first down the easy way. What they're doing is using Mark Gillis. He is standing right around the line of scrimmage, just opposite the right end, and looking right down the line to make sure nobody's lining up on the wrong way, and then he's falling back into his linebacker spot. All right, Rich Fizzy chasing down quarterback O'Brien. He's finally knocked hard and knocked out of bounds with a good whack as the quarterback for the Lakers opted for the sweep around the right-hand side as the pass protection of the Hubbell Lakes held up nicely. And Rich Fezzi was just tracking him down.
Well, Fezzi got a good piece of him, knocked him off balance, and Mark Gillis finally knocked him out of bounds. Not before of a pickup, though, of about 2 yards, so that's going to bring up a second down and 8 on the Lake Linden 41-yard line. 2:43 remaining here in this second quarter.
Throw set. Number 40, number 32, Atkinson and Gavin. There goes the handoff to Brian Atkinson. He stays on his feet. Now it's his turn to do the ball carrying chores for the Lakers, as in the first part of this game it was Terry Gavin getting the nod. So they're mixing it up now nicely. Are the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers. He picked up a couple on that one, Bill. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8 situation. Ball on the 41. The Hubbell Lakes out in front, 8-0. Was there a flag on the play? And it's going to go against Maple City Glen Lake.
All right, and that was illegal procedure. They're going to mark the ball back 5 yards. That's going to bring up a second down and about 13.
Okay. Well, the windows have cleared up here nicely in the press box from Newberry. Snow covered and slippery. Again, the field. 2nd and 13, ball on the 46. There goes the wide pitch over to Atkinson. He's got some running room, then tackled by Kokkinen. What a beautiful tackle by Eric Kokkinen, as Brian Atkinson had some nice running room down the right-hand side, picked up quite a bit of yardage. Let's see where they spot that ball, as Kokkinen made a beautiful tackle on the ball for running back, just right out of the textbook, as he grabbed him around the knees and clamped him.
Well, we're going to give a 9-yard gain to Atkinson that time, and that's going to bring up a third down, and 4 with 1:55 remaining. The ball now on the Lake Linden 37.
Well, this is a big one here, 3rd and 4. The Lakes have held them twice already. Long count from O'Brien. Handoff goes to number 40, Gavin, over left-hand side. He's going to have enough. It's going to be close, Bill. And the official says, no, sir, first down for the Lakers. The clock will stop here. Oh, they're looking for a timeout here, and they've got it. O'Brien, the quarterback, wants a timeout.
Here in Newberry, Michigan, we have 1:39 left in the second quarter. The Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes leading by a score of 8-0 over the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers, but the Lakers have the ball on the 33-yard line.
All right. They took their second time out of the half. 1:39 remaining. 1st and 10. Back to pass. He's under heavy pressure. Already threw the ball off to who knows who. All the linemen had their backs to him, and that's where the ball went, into a thick of one Lake Linden player. The ball went right in the backs of the linemen, so under heavy pressure was quarterback O'Brien.
Well, if that was NFL rules, he would have been sacked for about an 8-yard loss, but it's ruled an incomplete pass. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10 now from the 33-yard line of the Lakes.
That did stop the clock, 1:33. But the heavy pressure was applied by the Lakes on that one. Here they go again. 2 receivers split out. The handoff this time, and this clock nicely, if anything else, between the incompletes and the out of bounds. They had him there. That would have been a big play with only one timeout remaining for the Lakers. Ball is on the 28-yard line. Splits the receiver way far on the left-hand side. He's rolling. O'Brien, shovel pass right out in front to Atkinson. Oh, and he's upended after a beautiful gain. What a nice play. A hole really opened up as quarterback O'Brien just delayed a little bit as Atkinson hung around in the backfield, and a shovel pass forward right over the line of scrimmage. And Atkinson got knocked head over heels on that one, but it's enough for a first down. Ball all the way down to the 19 of Lake Linden Hubbell. 1st and 10, 1:16, and the clock running. O'Brien, the quarterback. Atkinson and Garvin in the backfield. Lake Linden D has to get tough in here. He's going back to pass. He's under heavy pressure. They got him. Sacked. They sacked him. Just a host of Lake Linden Hubbell Lake players in on that one. It's taking just a little bit too much time. Was quarterback Bob O'Brien. And there goes a timeout. All right, a little bit of excitement here. I'll tell you, 1:01 remaining before half. Second quarter being brought to you by Hancock Bottling, your bottler and distributor of Dr. Pepper in the Keweenaw. Ball on the 20-yard line, 2nd and 11 on the quarterback sack. 2nd and 11. 8-0, Lake Linden Hubbell out in front. They have not been afraid to pass. The Lakers have not. And he's going to go back again, rolling to his right-hand side. Here's O'Brien. He's being chased down, and he's forced out of bounds, pushed and pushed hard, as Lakers defense are really looking good on that one, or the Lakes defense, rather.
Ryan Lacoste over there quickly to ride him out of bounds, but it stopped the clock with 54 seconds remaining. The ball now on the 20-yard line.
Rich Bezzi, the first one in the backfield for the Hubbell Lakes. So they flushed him out of the pocket several times here. He's coming back to pass right after he got sacked. So O'Brien being forced into a pass situation again. 3rd and 11. Ball on the 20-yard line. So goes for no gain. Back straight in the pocket is quarterback O'Brien. It is a screen pass. Atkinson has got the ball. Missed the tackle. He's streaking down the sidelines. He finally forced out of bounds. He's short of the end zone. Boy, what a beautiful play by the Lakers as they set up a screen pass nicely on the left-hand side and tossed it out to Brian Atkinson, their all-star running back. He had blockers in front of him and finally was forced out of bounds deep, deep in Lake Linden territory. Let's call it on about the 5.
Well, that's a pickup of 15 on the pass play from O'Brien to Atkinson. That was the first completed pass by O'Brien this afternoon. They have, Maple City Glen Lake has used the clock very effectively. Tim, there's still 45 seconds left.
First and goal from the 5. One timeout remaining for Maple City Glen Lake. Throw set offense. Has a receiver split a little bit wide on the right. Power move to the left-hand side, but picked in the backfield. And upended nicely is Terry Garvin.
Craig rolled back there like a rocket into the backfield, moving Garvin back, for about a 3 or 4 yard loss. Let's call it a 3-yard loss. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 8, and the clock is running.
Quickly back in the huddle, Bill. Excuse me. Quickly back in the huddle. They're on the line of scrimmage. He's just going to whip it out of bounds. There was an intended receiver over there, so that was a smart play by Maple City Glen Lake, stopping the clock with 21 seconds remaining. The Hubbell Lakes out in front, 8-0. 21 seconds remaining before half here is Bob O'Brien, the quarterback, just grabbed his team and threw him right back on the line of scrimmage and then tossed the ball out of bounds. Ball is now back to the 8-yard line. It is a 3rd and goal from the 8. 3rd and goal from the 8. 21 seconds remaining before half. The Hubbell Lakes out in front by 8. Same pro set formation, tight end on the left, wide out on the right. Here goes the quarterback option. He's going to keep the ball. It's going to be close. It's going to be just a little bit short. I believe they have one timeout remaining here. He did not get in there. The clock is down to 8 seconds, 7 seconds. They are down to on the... What's going on here? That's the option. There was all a big mix-up back there. Lake Linden held. Lake Linden held. It was a 4th down play.
I'm not sure what happened on either one of those plays. We couldn't
The clock ran out there. I'll tell you, Bill, they did not have any timeouts remaining. Apparently, they tried to take when they had to get back up on the ball. Time has elapsed here. No score, no touchdown, as somehow, miraculously, the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes held them. We'll be back to talk about this during our halftime show. So,
But there's a bunch of them, and Wade Chevrolet.
that last play of this halftime was just unbelievable, as Maple City Glen Lake was using the clock wisely, as you said, marched it right down to the 4-yard line of the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes before time expired, and we were standing there scratching our heads. We thought maybe they had a timeout left. They obviously didn't, and they could not get the ball snapped from center in time to get the last play of the half off. So the Lakes held unofficially 3 times on downs against Maple City Glen Lake. Lots of lakes all over the place. It's 8-0. The Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes out in front. Ready for second half action in semifinal Class D play here, and the end-over-end kick to Gillis. Picks it up on his about zone 15, looking for blocking, takes it right up the center, and everybody's there. So the Hubbell Lakes will start off this second half up over the 30, probably closer to the 35, is where they will start. They're out in front 8-0. Sun continues to shine here in Newberry, but it has not warmed up at all.
And the shadows are moving onto the field right now.
Game started at 2:30. Just a reminder that we will be following the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes as far as they go, and there's only one stop after this, should they be fortunate enough to win today. Gillis the lone setback. Now he's in motion right to left. So Kokkinen keeps the ball. Himself takes it over right tackle as every running back and receiver was on the right-hand side, and that drew the defense that way, and Kokkinen kept the ball on a nice little run there by the junior quarterback. Picked up about 4. That'll bring up a 2nd and 6. Ball marked on the 40, just underway here in the second half.
I'll tell you, a nice move by Eric Kokkinen to pick up that 4 yards.
That play could have gone for big yardage. It was designed to do that. Now comes that triple I power formation. Third man through is Gillis as he powers over the top of a bunch of people and is sprawled out flat on the field again. He's up right away. That play is designed potentially to pick up some big yardage if that hole opens up, but you've got a lot of traffic going through there. Gillis picked up about 3 on that one. That'll bring up a 3rd and 3. So the Lakes starting off just the way they did in the first half, with third down situations being all important, and they converted on a lot of them and resulted in that 8 points on the board right now. Kokkinen, quarterback option, pitches off the roll, but he's caught at or around or even behind the line of scrimmage as a slow developing play on these slippery conditions cost the Lakes on that one.
Yeah, I think Craig Rowe might have been taken back for a 1-yard loss. We're going to have to see exactly where they spot the ball. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a
4th down, Bill.
1-yard loss for Craig Rowe on the play. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 5.
So Gillis will do the punting for the Lakes. Back deep to receive is Brian Atkins. Dangerous runner. Low snap, but Gillis fields it. Gets off a nice semi-spiral. Atkins elects to take it, and boy, he's just upended immediately.
Rich Bezzi in there quickly to make the tackle, helping Jimbo Keranen, and that's going to, well, the Lakers will still have decent field position, let's say about the 33-yard line, their own 33-yard line. 9:54 remaining here in this third quarter. The Lakeland and Hubbell Lakes 8, and the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers no score.
That's where they will start with their first possession. Glen Lake Lakers versus the Lakeland and Hubbell Lakes. So the Lakers and the Lakes here. 9:40 remaining in this third quarter. Pro set. Couple of tight ends in there for the Lakers. O'Brien, the quarterback. He goes on the pitch and caught way in the backfield is Brian Atkinson as Gillis broke through there to put the hit on him right away. He had a little help, but Mark Gillis, the first one on the scene for Lake Linden Hubbell, and that knocks him back.
Well, Gillis going into the backfield to get a hold of Atkinson, and Rich Fezzi back there to help him out, and that's going to throw him for a loss of about 5 yards, 6 yards. 6 yards loss for Atkinson on that play. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 16 now.
So that went out perfectly. Ball on the 28, 2nd and 16. 8-0. The Lakes out in front. He's going to whip one down there and race it down, and way overthrown his intended receiver. As Eric Kokkinen in the pass coverage there, he was going for Brian Coleman. Yeah, let's see if we can even read that. Oops, wrong side there. I knew it's over here. Gladden, Brian Gladden, the first action Brian's seen going in his direction this afternoon, but the ball away over his head. So that's bringing up a 3rd and 16. The Lakes hoping to get decent field position if they can hold here. Put the receiver split wide on either side. 2 men in the backfield for the Lakers. As back straight in the pocket, he's under heavy pressure, and they were looking. They had to throw it away as they were setting up a screen pass on the right-hand side with Terry Garvin, the intended receiver, but O'Brien, the quarterback for the Lakers, just had to throw that one away as the Hubbell Lakes covered it beautifully.
Very, very excellent coverage by the Lakeland and Hubbell Lakes. That's going to bring up a 4th down, 16 to go, a definite punting situation for the Lakers. 8:47 remaining here in this third quarter. The Lakeland and Hubbell Lakes 8, and the Lakers from Maple City Glen Lake no score.
Gillis back deep to receive along with Dan Smith. He'll be punting from about his own 15-yard line. A good snap. Gets off a nice kick. It's going to hit the ground, and it's taken over there by Smith. He's taken on the right-hand side. He's got blockers out in front of him. He's up over the 50, down near the 40. So the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes are going to start off with excellent field position for for their second possession of this third quarter. 8:37, the clock is stopped. Third quarter is brought to you by, let's take a little peek here, 41 Lumber. Any of those last-minute chores you want to get wrapped up, you better do them now. So, our thanks to 41 Lumber, being the third quarter sponsor here for semifinal action from Newberry. Handoff goes to Gillis. He stepped over a would-be tackler on the right-hand side of the line and picked up about 4. Just on nice balance by Mark as the line was clogged up, but again, he manages to make something out of nothing. That'll bring a 2nd and 6, ball on the 39. This would really be a big boost here for the Hubbell Lakes to put something on the board here early on in this second half, leading 8-0. Here comes that power I formation, the triple I, with Gillis being the last man. And again, he gets the ball going over the left side of the line right off a guard. Didn't pick up too much. That play has pounded out nicely for a few yards, Bill, but they never have gotten a big gainer on that one. They've tried it several times when he lines up all of 3 of his backs, Tiernan, Rowe, and Gillis, in a power I formation behind quarterback Kukkonen. Give him a gain of about 2 on that, bringing up a 3rd and 4, ball on the 33 of Glen Lake. A chilly day here in Newberry for the semifinal state Class D. Pitch left-hand side, Gillis the ball carrier. He's caught in the backfield, but he breaks loose of that one and picks up a few yards. We'll have to see where they spot the ball. He was caught in the backfield, but stepped out of that tackle neatly. We're going to have to take the wipe off the window here. It's going to be close. There comes the wiper. As the steam from... You're not the wiper? Okay, it's going to be 4th and short. They didn't go for a measurement on that one, so it's going to be about 1.5 feet as the Hubbell Lakes are going to go for it. A real tight formation in the backfield. He's got everybody jammed up like a goal line stance, and it goes to Gillis, and he leaps forward. That should be enough for the first down as Mark Gillis just dove over the top of the left tackle there and picked up enough for the first down. There they go. They're moving the chains. The Lakes are on the move. Ball's down to about the 27-yard line of Glen Lake. 1st and 10, 6:33 and running in the third quarter. Splitting wide out to the right is Brian Lampa for the Lakes. Handoff goes to Gillis. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and pops her outside. Flag on the play. Gillis picked up about 2 or 3 on a play that was stopped right at the line of scrimmage here.
And it appears first that it's going to be against Linden Hubbell.
Well, they're talking to the captain, Brian Atkinson of Maple City. And the Lake Linden players are moving backwards, so the indication we have is definitely going against Lake Linden. We don't have the call yet. Clock is stopped. Holding is the call. Holding against Lake Linden. It's been pretty much a penalty-free game here this afternoon as the ball gets marched backwards. Holding the call, going against the Hubbell Lakes.
Well, that's Lake Linden's 3rd penalty of the game. They've accumulated the 30 yards in penalties so far.
That brings up a 1st and 18 situation for Lake Linden. Ball's on the 35-yard line. Karen in motion right to left. He's under trouble. He dodges the tackle. He wants to air it out. He finds his intended receiver. My goodness, Schmidt. Dan Schmidt on a beautiful play. Kukkonen, what a... Oh, my, no flags on the play. No flags on the play as Eric Kukkonen just eluded a tackler who was right in his face and had the presence of mind to roll out to the left-hand side. And who does he find standing down there? Way down there, near the goal line. Let's see where they spotted, Bill.
Well, the line of scrimmage was the 35-yard line. Dan Schmidt, Eric Kukkonen under a lot of pressure. Getting the ball out to Dan Schmidt. He corralled it. We're going to have to see they're marking the ball.
Okay, it's going on a 7.
On the 7, that makes it a 28-yard pass.
1st and goal from the 7. Gillis gets the nod right up the gut. He picked up some real nice yardage, but not enough for the touchdown. as the beautiful pass play from Kukkonen to Dan Schmidt is set this one up. It was first and goal from the 7. It will be second and goal from where? Let's go. Oh, boy, look where they're marking on the other side of the field. That's not even a yard. We'll call it one. Second and goal from the 1. 5:13 and running, 8-0. The Hubbell Lakes out in front, and they're knocking on the door now as they go right up the middle. Let's see who the ball carrier was. There's no indication of yet as to whether he made it in the Snow Bowl here.
Eric Kukkonen on the quarterback keeper.
Well, they're unpiling him now as Kukkonen kept it on the quarterback keeper. And there it is. There is the signal. Touchdown, Lake Linden. As Kukkonen kept it himself.
That may have been a fake because Kukkonen was away from the pile. I think it was a fake, and I think Craig Rowe took it into the end zone.
Well, it was not Mark Gillis because he was used as a diversion on that play, and he was jumping up and down indicating touchdown before anybody else did. But there it is. The points are on the board. It's 14-0. The Hubbell Lakes out in front, and they will now attempt the point after touchdown in typical Lake Linden fashion, which is going for the 2. Gillis, the lone running back. Kukkonen rolling all left. He's going to keep it, puts his head down. He spins. He's going to be close. I don't think he made it. Yes, he did. Oh, my goodness. And everything's going the way of the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes today as Kukkonen rolled out left, didn't find an open receiver. He has the option to keep it, and he spun right when he was hit, fell into the end zone for the 2. So, with the score, the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes 16 and Maple City nothing. Well, we're not sure who scored that touchdown now. You're thinking it might have been Chad Rowe. We got Paul Peterson from the Gazette up here, and Paul thinks it was Kukkonen. I can't tell you the truth. He's down. He slipped on a slipping kick. Number 20 for Maple City. That's Joel Diot. His knee hit the ground. He was not touched by a Lake Linden player. However, that's where they will start on their own 39-yard line. Plenty of time left in this game. 4:44 remaining in the third quarter, which is brought to you by 41 Lumber. 16-0. The Lakes out in front of the Lakers. Well, they've got to get some points on the board now. The Lakers do. As quarterback O'Brien barks out the signals. It's a pitch to the right-hand side to Atkinson. He's got some running room. And down around the ankles, making a nice tackle with a little bit of help, Eric Kukkonen. Boy, he's a clean tackler.
And he got dragged about 3 or 4 yards that time, hanging on to Atkinson's ankles, and Atkinson, they're going to give him a gain of about 7 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 3 on their own 39-yard line. 4:08 and running remaining here in the third quarter. Lake Linden Hubbell Lake 16 and Maple City Glen Lake no score. So Kukkonen doing a fine job both ways here this afternoon. O'Brien splits his receiver far to the left, one on the right. He's right back in the pocket. He wants to pass. A little high, but caught and knocked loose. Let's see what happens here. Oh, my goodness. Hit just as he caught the ball. Hit and hit hard. Trevor Warren, and they turn the ball over. Oh, my goodness. What a break for Lake Linden Hubbell as a beautifully thrown pass, Bill. There was no doubt in my mind. It was a great reception. He had control of the ball. He came down as he hit. He hit one of the Lake Linden players, one of the defensive backs, and the ball was jarred loose. Lake Linden picked up the ball. First down, Lake Linden, the ball on the 41-yard line.
So he got popped and hit hard. He went up high to catch the pass, so the Lakers turn it over to the Hubbell Lakes. 1st and 10, 3:33 in the third quarter, the clock running. 2 receivers on the left-hand side. But, boy, caught in the backfield as Kukkonen hands the ball off to Mark Gillis. Gillis not used to seeing that kind of action as they just surrounded him. It's going to be a loss on the play for Lake Linden as just hit immediately before he could get anywhere near the line of scrimmage was Mark Gillis. Let's call it a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Ball on the 39-yard line of Lake Linden. Now, this would be a good opportunity now, Bill, for them to really chew up some of that clock. Ahead now 16-0 as Cookinen pitches, but the ball's loose and on the ground, and it was backwards. They could turn this one over if Lake Linden did not recover. The pitch out went to Rowe and went right through his hands, but Chad, or Craig rather, he managed to jump on it.
Covering up for himself, and still it's going to bring the ball back. Now for about a loss of 6 they're going to give him, so now it'll be 3rd down and 18.
Well, Lake Linden, not a team to go into a conservative type of offense. When they're ahead, they're the type that just keeps pounding it out the way they normally do, and they did go for the nice pitch outer on the right-hand side, but just in and out of the hands of Rowe. So that's a 3rd and 18, ball on the 32 as the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes going backwards here. Jimbo Kiernan in motion right to left. Cookinen, Rowe on the right-hand side. He picked up a good piece of real estate, but not nearly enough. It's just going to give him enough room so Gillis can punt without too terribly much pressure deep in his own zone. The ball's out to about the 33-yard line.
Well, that was a pickup of 7 yards for Craig Rowe, almost back to the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to bring up a 4th and 11, and Mark Gillis is on to punt.
Atkinson goes back deep to receive for the Lakers. A minute 39 and the clock running remaining in this 3rd quarter. High snap, Gillis fields it. He gets up a high kick, fair catch being called for, and it's loose, and Lake Linden has it. Oh, you can't write a script like this. This is unbelievable, Bill. Atkinson, steady hands, called for the fair catch, but the ball bounced off his shoulder pads and rolled out, and picking up the ball, Dan Schmidt, number 35 for Lake Linden.
Atkinson, single fair catch. Schmidt was converging on him. He didn't give up when he called fair catch. You know there's bad weather conditions today. Atkinson couldn't hang on to the ball. Schmidt dives on it, recovers Lake's ball at the 38-yard line now of the Glen Lake Lakers.
It was a high punt by Mark Gillis, enabling his coverage to get down there, and that's a real super break for Lake Linden as they are on their own 38-yard line. What a way to pick up field position. Cookinen on the quarterback option gets the ball off the Rowe, and Rowe picks up a nice piece of real estate as Eric Cookinen sacrificing himself there, holding on to the ball to the very last second before pitching out around the right-hand side to Craig Rowe. So I'm just really impressed with this entire backfield of the Lakes, but in particular this afternoon that Eric Cookinen has shown us a lot. Where he's running that option play just beautifully back there as he's willing to take the hit and still be cool enough to pitch that ball out in a fashion that can be handled by his running backs. In this case, picking up 5 yards, Craig Rowe, ball on the 33-yard line. Handoff this time goes to Jimbo Kiernan. He's still on his feet. So there's a little change of pace. Give it to Jimbo if they're going to try and cover everybody else. And he's deep into the Laker territory as Kiernan races down the right-hand side. It's going to be a 1st down for sure. We just want to see where they spot the ball. It's going to be inside the 20, maybe about the 18-yard line. Call it the 19, 1st and 10 on the 19 of Maple City Glen Lake.
13 yards that time on a pickup for Jimbo Kiernan on the reverse. And that gives Jimbo Kiernan 3 carries this afternoon, 25 yards.
All right, 1st and 10, ball on the 19, 16 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter as Cookinen's taking his time. I'm wondering if he's looking for the outside. There goes a broken play. Ball's loose on the ground. It's still loose, squirting around down there. I don't know if Cookinen was opening for an offside jump. And Lake Linden has turned it over. A golden opportunity for Lake Linden has just been turned around as a broken play from quarterback Cookinen and a fumble resulting, but that ball slipped around for quite a while. There's 2 seconds remaining. The clock is stopped on a change of possession here in this 3rd quarter. 16-0. Lake Linden is out in front of Maple City Glen Lake. And there goes the clock as they will switch the end of the field. So with the score, Lake Linden 16, the Lakers nothing. We'll be right underway here in the 4th quarter. O'Brien, the quarterback, is going to try an option, and then he's just surrounded by Lake Linden players and brought down. Picked up a short one on that. It's going to be 2nd and 9. Ball on the 19 as they turned it over on the fumble Lake Linden did, that is, and the Lakers have the ball. Back to pass, a little head fake is O'Brien. He's caught in his backfield, and he's sacked. So the Lake Linden D is inspired out there, but as you noticed, Bill, the defense inspires the offense is the defense.
I wonder who said that. A wise man once said that.
Well, we've got Noggin out in front.
Noggin's out in front with 5 minutes left. They're leading Muskegon Catholic by a score of 23-14, unless, in case that hasn't been reported to you. And right here, the Lakes are leading the Lakers by a score of 16-0, under 11 minutes remaining, Tim.
Okay, Lake Linden possibly had a chance to put it away. 3rd and 18, ball on the 12. He's going to have to pass. Goes for the quick opener over the middle, thrown over the outstretched arms of Terry Garvin, streaking out of the backfield. As the official hits the turf and brings up a few cheers from the stands, it is that slippery out there. That is a 4th and 18, as things are getting a little hushed in front of us, as the majority of fans directly in front of the booth are from Glen Lake. 4th and 18, ball on the 12. Just underway here in the 4th quarter with the Linden Hubbell Lakes out in front 16-0. Back deep to receive are Mark Gillis and Dan Schmidt for the Lakes. Good snap. There goes the kick. It's going to be short. They're going to let it bounce. Dan kind of taking a look at it, but he's going to let it die. It's going to be just around the 40-yard line. So the Hubbell Lakes will start off inside Laker territory.
We have 10:27 remaining here in this 4th quarter. The Lakes up by a score of 16-0 at this point. They have the ball, as Tim said, and all. They're going to wait for the spot. It's going to be the 40-yard line. So I think the important thing is keep the ball on the ground. They're not going to put it in the air anymore. They're not going to try anything fancy. Let's eat up this clock and get out of here with a victory.
Ideally, that would be the situation, but I've never known a Ron Warner offense to do anything except exactly what he wants to do. Here goes Jimbo Karen in motion right to left. He's got Smith. There goes the pitch to Gillis, left-hand side. If he cuts the corner, he just ran over a player. Oh, my goodness, Mark Gillis just ran over a player from Maple City, Glen Lake, and picked up an extra 4 yards. So Gillis, an inspired player this afternoon here for Lake Linden Hubbell, as Mark picked up about 6 on that one, bringing up a 2nd and 4, ball on the 36-yard line of Glen Lake. This 4th quarter is brought to you by Lindris, Chevy Old Geo, and Hancock. So hi to everybody over there. Hope we can bring home a victory for you. Triple power I formation. Gillis, the last man through, gets the ball. And this, again, he's hit right at or near the line of scrimmage and fights his way forward to pick up a couple. He's going to bring up a 3rd down situation. They are keeping it on the ground.
They're going to give Mark Gillis 4 yards on that play, and they're going to move the chains once again. Now the ball's spotted at the 30-yard line. We have 9:21 remaining in this 4th quarter. The Lake's still up by a score of 16-0 over Maple City Glen Lake.
How does Mark Gillis do that? He stops at the line of scrimmage and he picks up 4 yards. What an afternoon he's having. Again, the power triple I formation for the Lakes. Again, Gillis, the 3rd man through. He's broken loose. Left-hand side, scampering down the sidelines. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. It's touchdown, Lake Linden, Mark Gillis. No fault on the play. The triple I formation finally works for that big popper as Mark Gillis breaks out of the backfield in that power I formation and streaks down the left-hand side. Scampering down there, goes into the end zone unmolested. Oh, boy. We've got a scout up here from Sand Creek. They're playing right now in the other Class D semifinals. They're playing Mendon. We do not have a score on that game. I'm sure he doesn't want to see Mark Gillis. Of course, he'd probably like to see him. That means you guys would be playing, so there's no question about that. Here goes Cookin, and he's going for the 2. In and out of the hands of Dan Schmidt. Oh, Schmidt had it, but he couldn't quite hang on a diving catch as Lake Linden went for the 2-point conversion but failed. So,
with the score. The Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes 22, Maple City Glen Lake nothing. We'll be right back after this. Hey, there's the Lake Linden fans. They're fired up. There's 8 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in this semifinal action here. Noggin is leading 2. We'll get you a score as soon as we can pick one up. A possibility exists to be sending 2 teams from the UP to the Silver Dome. Gillis flips on the ground, picked up, and finally by number 40, their big running back, but he's running laterally down the field. Perry Garvin, and he's just hammered. Dan Schmidt flew in there. Just a flying tackle, got him by the legs, pulled his legs right out from under him. That down him. They're going to mark the ball at about the 32-yard line. 8:51 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes 22, Maple City Glen Lake no score. And the clock continues to move, and it's got to be a factor now, even with that much time remaining. 8:45. Forcing Glen Lake out of their normal run offense as back to pass again is O'Brien, and it's just off the hands of his intended receiver. He could not hang on, and that's Brian Gladden. The pass was thrown a bit high, however, Bill. Yeah, a little bit out of his reach, and that's off the clock, excuse me. Oh, that's okay. Go ahead. 8:35 remaining. And the way both these teams want to keep it on the ground, we know Lake Linden more than likely will if they get the ball back. It brings up a 2nd and 10. Ball on the 33-yard line of Glen Lake. They are under the gun, trailing 22-0. Straight back in the pocket is O'Brien under heavy pressure. Oh, my goodness. I mean, Jet Klein in there like a missile in the backfield, getting credit for the sack. That'll be a 5-yard loss, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 15 yards now. Well, the D rising to the task there, pushing them back all the way to the 28-yard line. As the Lake Linden fans really starting to get into it now. 8:07 and the clock is running. 3rd and 15, ball on the 28. Here it comes, though, on a delay play. To Garvin, he's breaking it to the outside. He's still on his feet. He's going to have to be knocked out of bounds. He'll just be short of the 1st down, however. I'll tell you, Rich Gurno, excellent pursuit out there. Caught him just short of the 40-yard line. And, Tim, that's going to be about 4 yards short of the 1st down. But there's going to be a gain of 11 on the play. The ball is now marked out at the 39-yard line. A real nice play by Maple City Glen Lake, Perry Garvin. Lake Linden in a bit of a prevent there with a 3rd and 15 situation. It is now 4th and 4. And they're setting up in sort of a shotgun formation. Nobody back deep, and now Smith is going to go back by himself just in case it's a fake. And it is. They're going to go for it. The snap goes straight back, and he may have it as it went straight back to Brian Atkinson, their fullback, and he took her right to the sidelines. It all depends where they spot the ball. They had to go for it. It was 4th and 4. So the Lakes only sent one person back. And there's the 1st down, so the gamble paid off for Maple City Glen Lake. They're trailing in this game 22-0 with 7 minutes and 52 seconds remaining. 4th quarter brought to you by Lindner Cheviot. And be sure to stay tuned in our post-game show where we've got something special for you. It's an autographed football from Weber's, and it's autographed by all of the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes, and we'll be giving that away in the post-game show. Straight back is O'Brien. He's got an open receiver. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Lake Linden. Oh, what a beautiful diving interception. Ryan Lampa in there on the interception, and Tim, I would venture to say, do we say that's the ball game? Oh, I will not. Now with 7 minutes and 48 seconds remaining, and there's just a bit too much time left, Bill, as Lampa makes a beautiful diving interception as Lake Linden has forced Maple City Glen Lake out of their running attack and in to a situation where it is a must to put points on the board, and this is what happened. They forced that play, and Lampa on a beautiful interception. The Lakes will take over on their own 45, 1st and 10.
7:32 remaining in this game is cooking, and hands off to Mark Gillis over left tackle. Grinds out a few on the ground, and that's going to be the ticket here. Gillison is grinding out a few, always turns out to be 4, 5, or 6 yards. The guy is unreal. Let's call it 2nd and 6. Looks like it's closer to a gain of 4 to me than it is to 3 as the scoreboard shows. Ball is on the 48-yard line. 2nd and 6, 7 minutes remaining. The clock is running. A couple of first down here will put Lake Linden in ideal situation as, again, Gillis, the ball carrier, he's still on his feet. He's popped it out to the left-hand side, scampering down the sideline. Oh, he took it over left tackle again and then danced her out to the sidelines and took her down. He's brought down finally, forced out of bounds on about the 22-yard line, Bill.
Well, I'm trying to further back than that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out his yardage, so you can just keep it here.
All right, we'll get out a handheld calculator here. Is it the first down for Lake Linden on a heck of a run by Mark Gillis? He's been unstoppable this afternoon, and when they double and triple team him, they've also used Jimbo Karanen and Craig Rose. So it's a multi-faceted attack as Gillis gets the nod again, this time to the right. Picks up a couple, 3 yards there, and the clock continues to run. 6:25, 22-0. Hubbell Lakes out in front.
11, 12, 13.
All right. Ball on the 23-yard line, Bill.
Mark Gillis now unofficially 24 carries, 150 yards.
Well, there's an afternoon for you, and there is 6:06 remaining in this game. 2nd and 8, Lake Linden on the 23-yard line of Maple City. Jimbo Karanen in motion, right to left. The pitch goes to Gillis. He's got a bunch of blockers out in front. He's still on his feet. He's breaking it to the sideline. He dodged another tackler. He's forced out of bounds. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable. Gillis just streaking down the sidelines. He went right over the end zone marker, the goal line marker. He is not in.
And the penalty is against Maple City Glen Lake.
Well, they'll decline it naturally. The ball's going to be marked way down deep. Let's see, decline. Touchdown! That's it. Okay, that was the problem on that thing. There was a flag on the play, and it goes against Maple City Glen Lake, so Mark Gillis did scamper into the end zone. Excuse me, he was knocked out of bounds right around those big orange markers. We couldn't tell for sure if he was in. And they're going to attempt the extra point in kicking fashion here. So there's somebody you want to talk about a little bit. It's a fake. No, it was a bad snap. Crookenen's got the ball. That was not a fake. Oh, that's too bad. The exchange student was going to have his first opportunity to take a whack at it, but the snap from center was low, so they do not convert. So with the score, the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes 28, Maple City Glen Lake 0. We'll be right back.
Mark Gillis now on the afternoon, 25 rushes, 173 yards.
Boy, he is piling up stats that are going to be just unbelievable, but we're seeing it. You're hearing it. Maple City Glen Lake forced to pass again. He finds his intended receiver, number 26. He's still on his feet, bouncing around down there. A hard-nosed ball player. Trevor Warren, that's the man that they would pass to normally in a passing situation, and that's what they have to do now, is to try and move that ball up the field. The clock will now continue to run as they move the markers. 5:14 and counting.
Tim Paul Peterson from the Gazette is here, and he just informed me with that last run by Mark Gillis, it puts him over 3,500 yards for his career.
Wow. There goes the delay. The grabbing for the ball was the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes, but hanging on nicely as Brian Atkinson is a big hole opened up right up the middle on a little delay draw play. So Lake Linden, you're assuming, is going to be in a little bit of a prevent here with 4:45
remaining in this contest. 28-0. Lake Linden out in front. They hang on here, Bill, and we're going to be going on a little trip next weekend. Here come the Lakers. Don't hang on, I quit. Well, the countdown begins here. 4.5 minutes remaining. Here comes the pitch to Atkinson, right-hand side. He's looking for his blockers. But, boy, they did not come up fast enough. As caught from behind is Atkinson.
Rich Fezzi again in the backfield. Rich Fezzi and Rich Gurno this afternoon have really been manhandling the offensive line of this Laker team. Both of them steadily in the backfield.
Well, if things remain the same, we'll have a nice ride back in that nice car that we picked up from Dan's Auto Polaris. Beautiful unit, held the road well, and in just real odd weather conditions all the way down here, but the sun continues to shine on a snow-covered and slippery field here in Newberry in semifinal action as assistant coach Neil Arley is leaving the booth for Lake Linden. He's a happy man. Here comes the pass, overthrown, intended receiver. Brian Gladden did not have a chance to catch that one. That'll bring up a 4th and 5. It stops the clock with 3:41 remaining. The Lakes here have just been unstoppable, Mark Gillis in particular. Boy, I'll tell you, hot noggin, we want to keep posted there. We could be sending 2 teams down to Pontiac next week.
And I'll tell you, I have the phone in my hand right now. Do you have a final on the Noggin game?
All right, we're going to try and get to that score. We want to keep that. O'Brien straight back in the pocket. This time he hits Gladden, and they're in a prevent. They let him have it. They let him have it. He didn't pick up enough yardage, I do not believe. It's going to be short. They're going to turn the ball over to the Hubbell Lakes on downs here, as the Glen Lake players are starting to feel the chill really set in here, as it's just a matter of time here. The clock is stopped with 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh, they gave them the first down, so they did make it. Glen Lake will keep the ball. 3:23 and moving as they picked up that first down. Lake Linden are way out in front, 28-0. 1st and 10, ball on the 45-yard line of Glen Lake. O'Brien the quarterback. Atkinson and Garvin in the backfield with him. Back in the pocket to pass. He's going to be under heavy pressure. So looking for his back, Brian Atkinson, right over the middle. It goes incomplete, in and out of his hands. Just a reminder to stay tuned in our post-game show for that football that's been autographed by all the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes, and our post-game show is brought to you by Superior Auto Parts Napa in 3 locations and all our good friends up there. But during that post-game show, we will be giving away a football. We haven't even decided how we're going to do it yet, but it's a real nice football from Weber's, and it's been autographed by the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes. 2nd and 10, there goes the pitch. Still on his feet, Terry Garvin, right-hand side. He's being chased down and finally forced out of bounds by several Lake Linden players. Again, that's going to stop the clock, so they're dragging this one out here. 2:40, check that, 2:54 remaining. 28-0. That goal line stand at the end of the first half was the closest that Maple City Glen Lake came to scoring, and they did not then, of course, as the sun is casting long shadows across the field here at the Newberry Athletic Complex. They did a dandy job preparing this field considering the horrendous conditions. 1st and 10, ball on the 43. O'Brien goes straight back in the pocket. Here come the Lakers, but it is a screen. It's gaffled in by Perry Gavin, but then he's tackled immediately. So Lake Linden defense was let through, so they put the heavy pressure on them. They picked up a few yards, but Lake Linden is going to allow them to pick up those 5- and 6-yard pops. The clock is running with 2 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in this contest. It would take nothing short of several miracles.
If we have a final score on that Ontonagon game? Could you relay it along to me?
Taking it right up the gut is Brian Atkinson, and he's tackled. Lake Linden allowing them to pick up those 3- and 4-yard poppers up the middle. That's going to be another first down. That'll stop the clock just temporarily while they move the change, but it's all a moot point now. The handoff goes up the middle, but still on his feet, and he may take her in the end zone. And he does. Number 40, Perry Garvin's been running nicely all afternoon, as the Lake Linden D could not hold on that one. So Garvin puts points on the board for the Lakers. They could not shut them out. A little something to cheer about here for Maple City, as a beautiful run by Perry Garvin on the left-hand side, broke a couple tackles, and then raced it into the end zone.
26 yards on that Garvin run, breaking the ice and putting the Lakers on the scoreboard. It's 28-6 right now. We have a minute and a half left in this football game.
Well, they're going to go for the 2 points here. Clock is stopped, of course, in the extra point conversion. Quarterback O'Brien was looking for a receiver, and then he's brought down immediately with the ball in his hand, so that goes for naught. Getting a little excited.
Well, why would you be
planning your
excited?
trip? Are you packing your bag or what?
What? 2 teams from the UP. Is that the first time 2 teams made it at the same time?
Well, that's a good question. I honestly don't know. And Paul
Okay, and whoever can answer.
No, that won't be our question in the post-game show. Well, let's talk about the fourth quarter, brought to you by, do you remember, Lindris Chevy Gio in Hancock. Tim Ludy, Rod Lindris, Ted Myers. Who else is over there? All those good people. Sue Peeney. It's all but over here. 28-6, 1:28 remaining. I'll tell you, we don't know the outcome of Sand Creek and Mendon. That's who Lake Linden will be playing.
And you know what is going to happen now? And the kickoff is coming to the Lakes, if it's not an onside kick, which I could see no reason for.
By Maple City, a nice reception. They've done some substituting in here now, too. Well, I thought that was 88. It's number 28, so nice catch. He's not on the program either. Doesn't much matter. There's 20 seconds remaining in this ball game. 28. Well, I thought that was 88. It's number 28, so nice catch. He's not on the program either. Doesn't much matter. There's 20 seconds remaining in this ball game. 28-6, the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes out in front. And I just want everybody to remember, Mark Gillis, 25 carries, 173 yards, and Mark's done for the day, and everybody better remember that statistic. Okay, Bill, I have no idea why you... Warner will do. There's a minute 27 remaining in this game, and he takes the entire first line out of there.
Hey, one thing we can't overlook this afternoon, Maple City Glen Lake coming into this tilt with an 11-0 record, their first defeat of the season, a very classy team, and, you know, congratulations to their coach and their players as a regional champion.
Okay, they just run it right at the line of scrimmage. The Hubbell Lakes do, then going nowhere. Let's not get any injuries out there. Coming up, doing a little bit of limping on that one is Richard Marcotte. And Richard's going to come out of the game. He might have twisted his ankle on that one. I suppose, you know, it's awful hard standing on the sidelines in these horrendous conditions. I mean, coming into play, but they want to play. There's no question about that. That will stop the clock, but there was a penalty on the play here, Bill, as they're marching it off, and it will go against Maple City Glen Lake. That puts the ball across the midfield stripe down to about the 38-yard line. Possibly a face mask is what we're picking up, unintentional as it may have been this late in the game. Under a minute to play, 28-6. Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes out in front. Handoff, mix-up, fumble. Maple City Glen Lake has the ball as the running back for Lake Linden Hubbell went running to the line of scrimmage, but he forgot the pigskin as the exchange from the quarterback was just a little bit too hard to handle. Again, the weather conditions here bitterly cold at 18 degrees and a slight wind, and you just can't expect the second team to come in there and be crisp. The post-game show will be brought to you by Superior Auto Parts in Napa in 3 locations, and let me see if I can remember where they all are. Napa is in Houghton, Ontonagon, and Lawrence. And we've got that football from Weber's autographed by all the Lake Linden Hubbell football players, and I'm sure Bill is frantically thinking up some little scheme that we can give that away in a segment of our post-game show. Back to pass, and caught by Maple City. A nice reception. They've done some substituting in here now, too. Well, I thought that was 88. It's number 28, so nice catch. He's not on the program either. Doesn't much matter. There's 20 seconds remaining in this ball game. 28-6, the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes out in front.
And I just want everybody to remember, Mark Gillis, 25 carries, 173 yards, and Mark's done for the day, and everybody better remember that statistic.
Okay, Bill, I have no idea why you said that, but we're down to 2 seconds. 1 second. This baby's history. This game is over. The Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes are going to the Silver Dome next Saturday. We will be covering that game. Tentatively, it's scheduled for a 10 or 10:30 start. We'll keep you posted, and we will be back with the post-game show here from Newberry right after this. 6, the Hubbell Lakes taking it to the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers. What an afternoon for Mark Gillis and the entire football squad down there in Lake Linden, Bill.
And Mark Gillis, everybody remember Mark Gillis, 25 carries, 173 yards, and then you got to remember that.
Was there going to be a contest afterwards or a test or something like that?
Well, there may be.
It was cold and crisp here, I'll tell you, 18 degrees, and the ball was aired out, though. Wind not a factor, and with the field conditions, these runners on both teams just giving impressive performances, but none could dare to outshine Mark Gillis. Brian Atkinson and Perry Garvin, the big running backs for Maple City Glen Lake, had some nice gainers, Bill.
Hey, they did a fantastic job. I'll tell you what, our contest is coming up, and I'm going to recap the scoring, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Our
Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes semifinal winners here from Newberry. The crowd just now starting to disperse from the field, and it's all Lake Linden Hubbell people down there. They brought 5 buses. Coaches unable to grab any of the coaches as they want to be with the team. Coach Ron Warner, the most personable fellow can possibly expect when you see him off the field. But I'll tell you, after this game, he's right with the team, and we're not going to be able to get him for an interview. We tried, but they're still milling around with the team and the fans and the parents and all the relatives that are here. Bill, you've got a couple of things you want to say?
Well, I was just first I'm going to recap the scoring, Tim. At 8:01 of the second quarter, Mark Gillis took the ball in from 3 yards out. Eric Cookinen hit Dan Schmidt for the 2-point conversion. 8-0 Lakes. That's how we went into halftime. In the third quarter at 7:12, Eric Cookinen on a 1-yard quarterback plunge. And Cookinen also ran in a 2-point conversion, giving the Lakes a 16-0 advantage. At 3:01 of the fourth quarter, Mark Gillis on a 31-yard scamper. The pass for conversion failed. It was 22-0 Lakes. And at 6:14 of the fourth quarter, Mark Gillis again, 23 yards out. The conversion run failed. The score at the time, 28-0 Lakes. Garvin came back on a fine run for the Maple City Glen Lake Lakers at 10:32 of the fourth quarter to close out the scoring, making the final score 28-6. Now listen closely, folks. 28-6 is 34. The fourth person to call the station and tell me how many times Mark Gillis ran and for how many yards wins an autographed football, Lake Linden Hubbell Lake football, donated by Weber Sporting Goods, and it's just a fine prize for the fourth caller, and you can call right now. How many times did Mark Gillis run the ball, and for how many yards? And we'll be right back here from Newberry. 100,000 youngsters participate in interscholastic athletics statewide every year, and in some areas they face the need for leadership by coaches and game officials. There may be an opportunity in your own community to help. Pick up a whistle. For more information, contact the Michigan High School Athletic Association and your local school athletic director. A public service message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association and WCCY.
Well, we're just about ready to wrap things up here from Newberry, where the Lake Linden Hubbell Lakes did a number on Maple City Glen Lake, and everybody's making plans now from that neck of the woods, and we'll have the ones who came to make a trip down to the Silver Dome for next Saturday And we will be covering that game. It will be heard live on WCCY, your voice of high school sports in the Copper Country. And, Bill, you have a winner here of that autographed football from Weber's.
Hey, real nice prize, and congratulations to Dennis Pina of Trap Rock, formerly of Lake Linden. And, Dennis, you got yourself a whale of a prize and just a great memento of this occasion.
All right, the post-game show has been brought to you by Superior Auto Parts, your Napa store. This is Tim Huckle for Bill Labba Sr. with the final score, Lake Linden 28, Glen Lake 6. We'll see you at the Silver Dome. Bye-bye for now.